So today I am going to begin chapter 12, gravitation. So first you know the meaning of gravitation. What is the meaning of gravitation? It is the force of attraction acting between any two material particles in the universe. Always there will be some force of attraction in between two material particles. Whatever there may be the distance. उनके बीच की डिस्टेंस चाहे कितनी भी हो, always there will be some force in between them. That force can be detected. उस फोर्स को हम डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं, इससे कोई वो नहीं है, but the force will always exist. So gravitation means it is the force of attraction acting in between two material particles. Now Newton had given one law, Newton's law of universal gravitation. According to the Newton's law of universal gravitation, there exists a force of attraction in between two point masses situated at some distance from each other. This force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Now here you can see in this diagram, there are two masses, one point mass m1, other point mass m2. Originally it was defined for the point mass. It's clear. But later on, it was used for the extended bodies also by using the center of mass. So according to the Newton's law of gravitation, there exists a force of attraction in between two point masses situated at some distance from each other. This force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. M1 से M2 तक की distance कितनी है? R है. So F is inversely proportional to R square. How will you write? F proportional 1 upon R square. And how will you read it? F inversely proportional to R square. It is clear. Either you read it as F proportional to 1 upon R square or F inversely proportional to R square. So when you will combine these two, what will you get? F proportional M1 into M2 upon R square. Now F is equal to G M1 into M2 upon R square. Now this G is called as the universal gravitational constant. Now what is the meaning of universal gravitational constant? Can you tell me? What is the meaning of universal gravitational constant? So it is called so because its value is same for all the parts of all the pairs of the particle. Whatever be any two particle, its value will be always same, and it is independent of the presence of other bodies. Means suppose some other bodies are also present here. There is one mass here, one mass here, here. There are number of masses are present. What will happen? The value of G will not change. The value of force in between M1 and M2 will remain only this. It's clear. So its value do not depend upon the intervening medium, whether there is air or these masses are situated under water. In every case, force this G will remain same. It's clear. So it is called the universal gravitational constant. It do not depend upon the nature of intervening medium. It neither depends upon the size of the bodies. It neither depends upon the presence of other bodies in nearby to these two point masses. It is clear. Now see here, the value of G is also very small. You can see here, if I give you value, first you see its unit, what will be the unit of G? So here formula of force between two point masses, it is given by F equals to G G m1 m2 upon r square. When you will make its formula, what will you get? G equals to f r square upon m1 into m2. Now see here, what is the unit of force? Here unit means SI unit. It is Newton. R is distance, its unit in meter, but here it is R square, so it is meter square upon kilogram into kilogram. So its unit is Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now, what is the value of G? So value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. It has been found experimentally. Experimentally, it has been found. If we take two masses, M1 equals to M2, whose value is equal to 1 kg, and suppose they are situated and these are the point masses. Mass is concentrated at one point. R equals to 1 meter. Then G will be equal to what? It will be equal to F into 1 square upon 1 into 1 equals to F. Experimentally, the value of this force was found, and it was found that it is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. It's clear. When there are two masses of 1 kg situated at a distance 1 meter apart, then it was found that this much force exists in between them. It's clear. And as we know that from this formula, value of G is equal to F. If masses are of 1 kg separated at a distance 1 meter. It's clear. So its value is this Newton meter square per kg square. Now see here 10 to the power minus 11. It means that there are how many zeros before 6? There are 10 zeros. 6, 6, 7. Because of very small value of G, we don't experience this force in between two ordinary mass bodies. We don't experience this force of gravitation in between two ordinary mass bodies. And why? Because of this very small value of G. Since the value of G is very small, therefore it cannot be experienced. But if the bodies are of any one body is of very heavy mass, for example, Earth and this pen, Earth and pen. What is the mass of Earth? It is 10 to the power 24 kg. 10 to the power 24 kg. And pen here, suppose it is of 0.01 gram. So, since one body is very massive, therefore, when you will substitute, what will happen? It will nullify, this mass will nullify the effect of this negative power. And force between this pen and Earth will become significant. Force between Earth and pen will significant. And if you leave it, what will happen? It will go down. It will fall towards the Earth. It will not go in any other direction. Now, one more thing. Suppose Earth is attracting to the pen by a force of 10 Newton. Then what will be the force which pen exerts on the Earth? अगर अर्थ पेन को 10 न्यूटन के फोर्स से अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है, तब पेन अर्थ को किस फोर्स से अट्रैक्ट करेगा? सो बाय द सेम 10 न्यूटन. बट नाउ इट विल एक्ट इन दिस डायरेक्शन. एंड व्हाई? फ्रॉम द न्यूटन्स लॉ ऑफ एक्शन एंड रिएक्शन. इट्स क्लियर. बट दिस फोर्स ऑफ 10 न्यूटन, it is very much sufficient for the pen because its mass is very small. But for Earth, it is not sufficient because the inertia of Earth, mass of Earth is very huge. There is a very huge inertia of Earth because of its mass. इसका mass बहुत अधिक है. So 10 न्यूटन का फोर्स अर्थ पर कोई भी इफेक्ट नहीं डाल पाएगा, कोई भी प्रभाव नहीं डाल पाएगा. आए समझे? But both are attracting to each other by the same force. So in case of ordinary mass bodies, we don't experience this force because of very small value of g. But if any one body is very large mass, if any one body among out of these two bodies, one body is of very huge mass, then this force can be experienced. Now see here, you can see here the unit of g is this. What will be its dimensional formula? So you translate these unit in terms of the dimensional formula. Newton means MLT minus 2. Meter square means L square. Kg square, that is M square. It's clear. When you will simplify, it will be M minus 1 L3 T minus 2. So this is the dimensional formula of the G. It's clear. Now one more thing. In the beginning also I have told that this Newton's law of universal gravitation, it is strictly applicable only for the point masses. But in case of the extended body, also we can apply them by using the concept of the center of mass. Or the one more way, if the bodies of very huge mass, if the bodies are extended and they are very large distance apart from each other, मतलब अगर क्या है, बॉडीज तो एक्सटेंडेड बॉडीज हैं पर इनके बीच की डिस्टेंस क्या है, बहुत ही लार्ज है, इट इज वेरी लार्ज, देन with respect to this large distance, these extended bodies can be assumed point masses. With respect to the large bodies, these extended bodies can be assumed as the point masses. Or by using the concept of center of mass, we can use the Newton's law of gravitation. It's clear. Now, one more thing, spherically symmetric bodies. In the spherically symmetric bodies, what will happen? We will assume whole mass to be concentrated at the center, and just we will find that we can derive, we can evaluate the force acting between Earth and Moon, force acting in between any two other planet by treating them as the spherically symmetric bodies and assuming their mass at their center of mass, which is the geometrical center. It's clear. Now see here in vector form, how will you write this force? So first we will see the some properties of gravitational force. Properties of force of gravitation. So first property, it is a central force. It is a central force. Central force means acts along the line joining the point masses. Acts along line joining point masses. Means you can see here, suppose these are the 2 point masses, one is of mass m1, other is of mass m2 and situated at a distance r from each other. It's clear. What will be the force exerted by m1 over m2? m1 m2 पर कितना फोर्स exert करेगा और किस डायरेक्शन में? So the magnitude of force will be given by this, that you know G m1 m2 upon r square. But what will be the direction? So direction will be this. This we can represent F21. This we can represent as F21. It's clear. Now see here, how will you write it in the vector form? So in vector form, what will be F21? F21 will be equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. It is the unit, it is the magnitude, and multiply with the unit vector. So it is vector r21, unit vector r21, and unit vector r21, this is the body 2, this is the body 1. Unit vector r21 is directed in this direction. It is directed in this direction. Similarly, what will be the force which m2 exerts on m1? m2 m1 पर कितना force लगा रहा? तो so magnitude of force will remain same, but the direction of force will be this, that we can represent F12, and it is acting in what direction? This direction. This we have denoted by the unit vector R12. So what will be vector F12? It will be Gm1 m2 upon r square. This is the magnitude. Direction you can provide by using unit vector. Unit vector means vector of one magnitude, जिसका magnitude क्या हो? 1 unit हो. When you will multiply with the 1, there will be no change in this value, but it will provide the direction. So it will be unit vector R12. Now you can see here in these two things, what is the difference? Here there is unit vector R21 and this is unit vector R12. Both are having same magnitude, 1 unit. Both are having same magnitude, 1 unit. What is the difference in their direction? Their directions are opposite. So vector R21 is negative of vector R12. So we can write it as, by using this, you can write this thing as, I am showing here only, this expression I can write as G m1 m2 upon r square. And in place of unit vector r12, you write down negative of r21, negative of r21. So r21 and negative sign here. So from here you can see that this becomes negative of this, because this whole thing is what? If you leave negative sign, then this whole thing is F21. So minus F21. So from here you can see that vector F12 is negative of vector F21, or vector F21 is negative of vector F12. It's clear this way. So this way we can write. This is the vector form of Newton's law of universal gravitation. So first property, it is a central force. Central force means it acts along the line joining the point masses. It acts along the line joining the point masses. Number 2, it obeys the inverse square rule. Obeying, this is the second property, obeying inverse square rule. Inverse square rule means it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between point masses. Inversely proportional to the square of distance between point masses. As the distance will increase, force will decrease. It's clear. Number 3, it is a conservative force. Conservative force means work done do not depend upon path. Work done by force of gravitation. By force of gravitation. Do not depend on path. As you know that the force which exists between the earth and this body, It is the force of gravitation. Here, this is a body and this is the earth whose mass has been concentrated at its center. There will be a force of gravitation. Earth is pulling to this body in vertically downward direction. If you are carrying it from Earth's surface to the height h, how much work will be done? Already you have studied that how much work will be done. If we assume Earth's gravitational field uniform, if throughout it in this region Earth's gravitational field is uniform, then how much work will be done? M into G into H. Now, whether you carry the body through this way or through this way or through by any other way, in every case, same amount of work will be done. It's clear. Whatever be the path, whether it is a direct path or it is an indirect path, in every case, height ascended is h. Therefore, work done will remain mgh. Work done will not change. It's clear. So it is a conservative force. One more property about which already I have told, that this force do not depend upon the nature of intervening medium in between two bodies, whether they are situated in vacuum, there is vacuum in between these two bodies, or they are situated in air, or they are situated in underwater. As long as the distance between them is same, force will remain same. It do not depend upon the nature of intervening medium. It do not depend upon the presence of the other bodies in its nearby. It's clear. So these are the some properties of the gravitational force or force of gravitation. Now, after this, we will proceed towards gravity. And gravity we use in context of a specific case, and for us specific case is the force which earth exerts. It's clear. Gravity means, since as you know that I have already explained that this force becomes significant only when bodies are of very huge masses, or either one body is of very huge mass. Suppose this is the earth and this is the some ordinary mass body. Then what will happen? We will say that earth is attracting to the mass m1. But in the language of physics, already I have told that if earth is attracting to it by 10 Newton force, then this is also attracting to the earth by 10 Newton force. It's clear. Force acting from both the sides are equal. Only they are in opposite direction from the Newton's law of action and reaction. But even after that, we say that earth is attracting to the body. It's clear. Means earth is having the some gravity. It is having the property of pulling the things toward it. It is having the property of pulling the things toward it, though other bodies are also pulling to the earth. It is clear. So gravity we use in context of any huge bodies. Gravity we use in context of some huge body. It's clear. Whose mass is very massive, which is very much massive, and in our nearby, in our surroundings, earth is that body. It's clear. So gravity we use for any massive body. It's clear. So what is the gravity? So for our purpose, gravity is the force by which earth attracts the bodies towards its center. It is the force by which earth attracts the bodies towards its center. That is called the gravity. It's clear. That thing is called the gravity. It's clear. Now see here, there is one term, acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration gravity. Now, what is acceleration due to gravity? So already you have studied what is acceleration due to gravity. It is the change in speed per unit time on a freely falling body. Here, gravity we are using in context of the earth. In context of the earth. It is clear. So suppose this is the earth and a body is falling freely under the gravity of earth. Because of the pull of the earth, it is falling freely. It is clear. So change in its velocity per unit time, that is called the acceleration due to gravity. It is clear. Change in velocity, change in velocity of a freely falling body. Freely falling body means no other force is acting except earth. No other body is exerting force on this except earth. Change in velocity of a freely falling body under the gravity of the earth. Under the gravity of the earth. And here we have considered, so far we have considered that there is a uniform gravitational field of earth around it. अर्थ के चारों ओर अर्थ की जो ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड है वो यूनिफॉर्म है. यूनिफॉर्म है means the acceleration due to gravity, which we represent by the symbol g, is having a uniform value through around the earth. But actually we will find later in the same chapter that the value of g is uniform only up to certain kilometers from the earth's surface. If you go indefinitely high, what will happen? The value of g will change. It's clear. So first of all, we are going to deduce an expression of acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. What is the acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface? So see here, here we have assumed that there is a body of mass small m. One more thing, in this chapter, mass of earth we will represent by the symbol me. Radius of earth we will represent by the symbol re, and we will assume that earth is spherical in shape. Assumption is earth is spherical in shape. In shape. It's clear. Though we know that earth is elliptical, but for this derivation we will assume this, that earth is spherical in shape, it is not elliptical. It's clear. Though actual shape of earth is oval shape, it is bulging at the equator, and this is that pressed at the poles. So see here, here this is the earth whose mass is concentrated, and one more thing, that earth is uniformly dense. Earth is uniformly dense. Though we know that earth is not uniformly dense. The density of earth is not uniform. It's clear, because of its composition. So see here, here these assumptions have been made, and here this is the center of mass is this me. Here whole mass is supposed to be concentrated, and its radius is re. Let there is a body of mass small m is situated on the earth's surface. So what will be the distance between the this center where whole mass is concentrated and this body? It will be equal to the earth radius. It will be equal to the earth radius. So see here, what will be the force acting in between them? You can see what is the force acting between both. Now it is visible perhaps. So see here. Yes. So from Newton's law of universal gravitation, what will be the force? Force will be given by G MEM upon RE square. If we assume that let acceleration due to gravity on Earth's surface, if we assume that it is equal to G, this we have found, this is the force by which Earth is attracting to this body towards its center, is given by F equals to G MEM upon RE square from Newton's law of universal gravitation. It is clear. Now see here, if we use our old concept, अगर हम लोग अपना ओल्ड कंसेप्ट यूज करें कि अर्थ की ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड में एक बॉडी है whose mass is m and acceleration due to gravity is g, then how much force earth will exert upon that? So how much force will be exerted by earth upon that? M into g. Now these two forces will be equal. These two forces m into g and this will be equal, means m into g equals to g MEM upon RE square. G MEM upon RE square. You can cancel m in both the sides. So what will you get? You will get g equals to g ME upon RE square. It's clear? Means this is the formula of acceleration due to gravity on Earth's surface. It is formula of acceleration due to gravity on Earth's surface. Means it is proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the square of Earth radius. Inversely proportional to the square of Earth radius. It's clear? Now, if we in place of Earth we talk about the gravity of the moon. Gravity of moon. It's clear? If we calculate the gravity of the moon. So see here, what will be the gravity of the moon? Here we will replace ME by mass of the moon. Replace RE by radius of the moon. And it will become gravity at the moon will be G MM upon RM square. It's clear? G MM upon RM square. And we will find that it is 1/6 of Earth's gravity. जो अर्थ की ग्रेविटी है, अर्थ की ग्रेविटी की वैल्यू कितनी है? 9.8 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. It means if there is a mass of 1 kg situated nearby the Earth's surface, then Earth will attract that body by what force? F equals to m into g, that is 1 into 9.8 Newton. Means अर्थ उस बॉडी को कितने फोर्स से अट्रैक्ट करेगी? 9.8 न्यूटन की फोर्स से अट्रैक्ट करेगी. It's clear? But in the moon, what will happen to that force? That force will become 1/6 of this. 1/6 of this means what will be the force here? It is 9.8 upon 6. So 6 1 ja, this is 3, 6 6 ja 36. Then so it is 1.66 Newton. It's clear? 1.66 Newton. So this is the gravity of the moon. Now after this, now only 1 minute is left. So after this there is the variation of acceleration due to gravity. As you go above to the Earth surface and as you go below to the Earth surface, means inside the mines. That we will do tomorrow. It's clear. Tomorrow there will be the class at the same time. And this chapter is in your course. In the second unit assessment, questions will be asked from this chapter. It's clear. So if you want to ask anything, you can ask.